Hello everyone, welcome back to Movies with Michael, and this is my first video ever on my channel where I talk about the Mandalorian Disney Plus original series. And this is not a review, don't be confused about this. There's not going to be any scores in this video, like no final scores and stuff like that, no initial scores, none of that stuff. This is me talking about the show overall, what I think about what it's doing, and me commenting on the public opinion of it and whether or not I agree with it or not. And of course, there will be spoilers, so you haven't seen any of The Mandalorian, or especially the end of Season 3, there will be spoilers with that. So if you haven't seen it, you have been warned, but let's get into it. Disney Plus's first original series, The Mandalorian, has just concluded its third season. Since its release, it has generated a large following from the already Star Wars fans or newcomers to the franchise. The character of Baby Yoda, now named Grogu, has had a lot to do with that, I think. Yes, the show is very special to Disney Plus, but I'm not here today to give it the praise it has received in the past few years. I admit, when the images of bloodied stormtrooper helmets on pikes played in the first trailers for the series, I was excited. It looked like it was going to be a Western-like series set in the chaotic aftermath of the Galactic Civil War that just might be a bit rougher than typically what we had gotten from the sequels. I was never too excited for the character of the Mandalorian, aka Din Djarin, as he looked like he was just going to be a blank slate bounty hunter. Having just finished the third season of the show, though, I can say that the show has certainly and unfortunately underperformed for me, especially with Season 3. I'm not going to go over every single thing I have wrong with the show, but I'll try and do the best I can. But let's start with how it's filmed. I'm all for live action in Star Wars. The Star Wars franchise is classically live action, of course, with the original trilogy and the prequel films being live action movies. But the thing about live action that I've noticed more and more with the most recent Disney Plus Star Wars projects that are live action is that when you're filming real people, especially in the fight scenes, you have to make it look good or do it right, or else it looks super cheesy. And that's a really big problem because 2005, again, I'm going to keep bringing this up. 18 years ago, we had the best Star Wars fight scene ever in The Revenge of the Sith with Anakin versus Obi-Wan. And I understand that there's no lightsaber wielders of that caliber in The Mandalorian. I get it. But that was 2005, and even the original movies, yeah, they're old, they're cheesy, sure, but they're older movies. They were doing the best they could back then. And if 18 years ago we got much, much, much better action in those movies than we do now, and even the action of those films are kind of cheesy too, we have all these special effects, huge budgets, bigger budgets than any other Star Wars project, and we haven't even come close to stuff like that. So in my mind, there's really no excuse for that. You have to make it look right. Unfortunately, a lot of the Mandalorian action stuff has fallen into that category of just being cheesy. It's underwhelming. It's just so poorly choreographed, and it's very disappointing. It's tragically underdone, as I would call it. And of course, there's no lightsaber fights, but I'm talking about the gunplay and hand-to-hand and stuff like that. The second flaw is the plague of the Day in the Life filler episodes. Yes, Bad Batch has caught this disease as well. This sickness of a TV show having too many episodes that are, they woke up one morning, they did something, and then they went to bed and then the episode ends. It doesn't set anything up, it doesn't contribute to the larger narrative, and it doesn't get the season anywhere. There's no story being involved. And it turns the show really into a RPG video game, filmed RPG video game, with annoying side quests that you don't want to pay attention to. You just gotta We gotta get through the campaign here. And The Mandalorian has fallen into that, especially with Season 3. Over half of this, it took us until, we didn't get to the main story of the season until episode 5. There's 8 episodes, so we didn't get to the actual story going on until episode 5. Over halfway through the season, that is not a good thing. But let's talk about the man himself, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin. This character is maybe the definitive average Star Wars character. He's not a bad character, but he's not a good character either. There's nothing really particularly interesting about him, at least I think. And Pedro Pascal is an average actor at best, and this is far from his best role. And it certainly hasn't helped that, for some reason, I don't know if in the script for the series or something they said, hey, Pedro, when you're playing the character of the Mandalorian, don't use any emotion. Because that seems to be what's going on. It could be a very intense scene and explosions are going on, and his voice just doesn't change. He's not a robot. He can have emotion. It's fine. But all that is to say, yes, there are things that I do like about The Mandalorian and like what they've done with certain characters and different like locations and storylines and stuff like that. I like the character of Grogu. I think Moff Gideon is a great villain for the show, and it's very disappointing that we didn't get to see more of him in season 3. I liked seeing Ahsoka. I really liked the end of season 2 with Luke Skywalker. So, and also I liked what they were doing with the expanding the Mandalorian mythology and showing that the High Republic didn't exactly have it all figured out when they were first starting off after the fall of the Empire. So I like seeing that stuff, and yes, there are certainly things to love, but people are praising the show more than it deserves. And I think with the disappointment of season 3, at least largely disappointment, people are starting to see those flaws come to light. And that's why I'll say that The Mandalorian series as a whole is the most overrated Star Wars project to date. And that being said, thank you all so much for joining me today in another video, and remember to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more content about movies. But as I said, comment down below what you think about The Mandalorian as a whole. Do you think it's overrated like I do? Are you one of those people that love it and you want to go against me in the comment section? Feel free to. Let's just be as civil as we can about it in the comment section. But that's all for now, and I'll see you all in the next video.